I have this large Forstner bit that is 50 millimeters in diameter. I am going to use it to drill the necessary holes in the wooden cube. I am sure you have already seen some other videos in which they make this project. But here, we will see, as always, successes and some mistake. Every side of this wooden cube is exactly 7 centimeters, and all the faces are perfectly at 90 degrees. First, I have to mark the center of one face. But, since I sanded the wooden cube a bit, now the vertices are not well defined. Here is a trick. 1/2 of 7 centimeters is 35 millimeters. And these boards, one on top of the other, measure about 33 millimeters. I bring the wooden cube close and line, turn, line, turn, line, turn, and line. This way the center of this little square is also the center of the face of the cube. I drew the little square on all faces. They will help me to make sure I am drilling correctly on each face. And now this little square helps me to better draw the diagonals. Because, yes, I need to draw the diagonals on one face of the wooden cube. Because the diagonals will help me adjust the depth to which I need to drill on each face. We are about to see it. But first, with a twist drill and a square, I check that the drill press table is perfectly at 90 degrees with the axis of rotation of the chuck. And now I can put in the Forstner bit. I use this plywood board as a makeshift table. It is secured with a couple of clamps to the metal table. The side fence, held with 2 clamps. It's perfectly at 90 degrees. And I have here this stop block, which here is perfectly at 90 degrees. So I have everything ready to drill in the center of all the faces of the cube. Checked from the front. And checked from the side. I only have to keep turning the cube to drill the faces one by one. Although, of course, we will see a mistake I made. Then I use the Forstner bit to make a mark on one face of the cube. The one where I drew the diagonals. Now I have to lower the bit almost to where the circle mark intersects the diagonal, but we will leave it a little above, because we don't want the inner cube to come loose while drilling. And I lock the depth stop. And now it is about drilling one by one all the faces of the cube. And this is the mistake I made. I drilled first the faces that show the grain parallel. We will see later why I should have drilled first the 2 faces that have the grain facing out. Here we can already see what I will have when I finish drilling all the faces of the cube. Every time I change the position of the cube, it's important to clean the chips well. Next, I have to drill the other 2 faces against the grain of the wood, and I will show why these are the ones I should have drilled first. But first, let me do a bit of cleaning. All right, we can continue. These faces of the wooden cube are harder to drill, and the cube moves more. So I drill little by little. I drill a little and lift the bit, like this until the hole is finished. Here we can already verify that we haven't drilled too much and that the inner cube won't come loose while drilling. Okay, do you see the wooden burrs that remain? If we drill the faces against the grain first, and then we drill the faces with the grain parallel, those edges would be cleaner. Well, as I set the drill bit a bit high, I think I can drill 1 more millimeter. This time, yes, I start with the 2 faces against the grain of the wood. And then I drill the other 4 faces of the cube. And there we can see how the edges are much cleaner. The advisable thing here is to take a knife and cut the corners to release the inner cube. But I decided to drill 1 more millimeter. And here we see how the inner cube already moves with the pressure of the bit. And this can be a problem, because if it comes loose, it might get stuck with the bit and cause a jump. In short, we should not drill so deep. I think I shouldn't have done this last series of drillings. The truth is that the cube looks very nice like this, but let's release it. Since I drilled too much, I think it will come off by hand. But of course, chips come loose. This last corner doesn't want to come off. I also made this other cube, but in this one I did not drill as deep. With this saw knife, I'm going to cut the corners. Notice that the grains are vertical. If I cut that way, it would probably chip. So, I cut like this. I cut without applying much force. I am not pushing it, but pulling it back, always keeping, for safety, the tip of the knife inside. Okay, the truth is that I needed to make some extra cuts, but with care and a little patience, I free the inner cube. The worst part now is sanding everything. You can imagine that sanding the inner cube is not going to be easy. And, well, the part where I sanded everything, I didn't record that part. And here I have this nice woodworking project, a curious cube within a wooden cube. It's a woodworking project that I've wanted to make for years. The thing is that I don't think my cheap drill press can drill these holes well, although I never tried. And now that I have a professional drill press, I finally dared. I leave a couple of links in case you want to see it. Well, and in a future video, I'll give a twist to this project. Thanks for watching the video. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my channel and click the bell to receive the notifications when I upload a new video.